Guys, we are live. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Yo, and excuse me if I'll be all over the place because I was working on something that just triggered my sinuses and apologies. And as you come in, even after the live video, you replay, yeah, you catch me later. Please do like, guys. Sorry, yo, I was contemplating whether I should rather record the video, or yeah, but recording will waste time, so I thought I'll come live. Just wanna check something quickly. I just wanna check something. Welcome, guys. Welcome. And yes, I'll greet you. I'll be with you just now. Can we change the destination and look for something else? My favorite country, one of my faves, which is Bangkok. I wonder if we'll have that. Okay, clearly they don't have. Guys, give me a few minutes. I wanna check for something that, let's say Texas. Maybe this will have what we are looking for. Oh, Indonesia. Guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I wanted to record this video because I was busy with something that badly triggered my sinuses. Okay, I think we are still under first class. This is so funny. Okay, let's go to economy. So maybe that's why I'm not getting what I want to get. And I'm sure you saw the caption already. I wanted to see if I'll see the similar warning. Yeah, okay, it is here. Okay, welcome back. Welcome, guys. As you come in, please do like the video. And if you are new, welcome. This is my corporate journey. So we talk or we discuss or I impart my knowledge on all things corporate, career life, as you work to fulfill your dreams, I believe. Even if you have a business, you're running your business so that tomorrow or one day you can, yes, have the wealth and the freedom that you dream of. So, yes, so we talk things career, we talk things investments, because once you earn an income or loyalty, royalties, or whatever type of payment that you get, because we all work differently and we get paid in a different form, you are able to invest the money wisely and fulfill your dream. So in my case, my dream is to travel, so hence there's a component of traveling. So we talk career, investments, and traveling on this channel. So guys, the last video, oh, and if you belong here, guys, if you are not new people, this is Tisha Oliphant, born and bred in a beautiful country called South Africa. And yeah, and if you are a, an old G, because I've got my execs here, my old Gs. And oh, guys, I was shocked to look at the numbers. I've got 4 execs already. Thank you so much, guys, for becoming members. I'm still trying to figure a way out to give my execs extra content. Like this particular content would have been exclusively for my execs. My execs are my members, people who paid extra. Sorry, guys. Uh, People who paid extra for membership, they are my execs. So, and it's 40 rand a month, so I'll be giving them exclusive content, so something detailed, something personal, something that they won't have to be going on internet and looking for if I've already experienced it, read about it, heard someone talk about it. So this one, the self-transfer information, would have gone directly to to my execs, which are my members. But yes, guys, welcome. And as you come in, please do like the video. I'll truly appreciate. And thank you for staying here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for hitting the subscription button and that bell so that every time I come live, you don't miss out on anything. And before we continue, and I'll still remind you, in the middle of the live, tomorrow we continue with our bootcamp session 2. So we started last week laying a foundation, just me explaining what the expectations, how we're going to run these finance boot camps, or bootcamp rather, and I'll be facilitating them personally, hosting you and taking you through my personal experience and my finance journey rather, and what I've learned over the years. I hope we follow. But now I want to briefly talk about self-transfer. I won't be long because yeah, it is straightforward and it will benefit someone who's never bought an air or a plane ticket that include self-transfer, and also the fact that I've got a 2 o'clock appointment. I must be at my door ready to leave. So I'll try and be as brief. And I'm also avoiding these long lives. Oh Lord, help me. I thought in 2024 I'll keep it brief, straight to the point. But yeah, I'm one person who's too detailed, and I hope one day I'll get over that. So sorry guys, my sinuses are not where they're supposed to be. So I'll be cleaning myself up as we proceed because I was busy preparing something that just triggered them. Okay guys, we spoke about planning our next trip, and we went through the whole process, how to book a ticket or flights. For those who've never done it before, I'm sure they benefited. For those who've done it, it was just a refresher, or they were like, I booked my flights yesterday. Why take me there? I know the information. And I was, there's people who were keen to know how I booked my flights when I was traveling full time for over 6 months. So the previous video was a live video, was an opportunity to share. And we also touched on accommodation, as to how I managed to get points, accumulate points, use loyalty rewards, and do the same even with your flights. But today we're focusing on self-transfer. So when you book a flight, when you are planning to travel, we all know by now that you can self book a plane ticket, or you can actually delegate it and pay someone for the services, an agent, to book a flight, a plane ticket for you. In my case, I always DIY, and I prefer DIY. I like to be in control. I like to plan wisely, and I know when I'll be landing where, so it just suits me to do my own thing. And we've looked at the Skyscanner website, and I've showed you that other tickets have that change of airport plane or plane tickets, and others have a self-transfer. So I want to talk about self-transfer because I once booked a self-transfer plane ticket, and I'll tell you my experience, and I'll share lessons learned so that when you happen to click on the tickets, or you book that a similar ticket, you know what to expect, what to avoid, and how to prepare, because it's a completely different ball game. It's not like you booking through Turkish airline and you just go maybe via Dubai, and you get the in transits, go to connecting flights, which is another Turkish airline, and then voila, you reach your destination, you touch down. Self-transfer is completely different. So let's get to it. So I went to the website, the same website that we used, just to remind you, it will have a red sticker there, which tells you it is a warning, self-transfer, and it's got that for you to click on it. And guys, you don't need to check. I went for a random tickets, and I just want to see. Please click on that. We are here now. Self-transfer. And guys, you ought to read what it says about self-transfer. I just want to get to it and see what, if it will tell us something. Uh, ugh, normally I read. Hold on, guys. I won't be long. Yeah. What does it mean? Is it this one? What does self-transfer mean? Guys, click there before. And please do like the video, guys. And thanks for the one person that has liked. I truly appreciate. And it tells you exactly what it means to self-transfer. So don't, and in most cases, tickets that have that self-transfer note in red and that warning sign are much reasonable than tickets that are straightforward. So most people might say, oh, this ticket is like 4,000 cheaper than the other tickets, let me rather take it. Or sometimes 6,000, 8,000, depending on where you're going and depending on the airline. Don't always think cheap is the way to go. So let's discuss what happens when you say, you know what, let me save my money, let me look after my hard-earned cash and go for self-transfer. What does self-transfer mean? I'm going to read from here, then I'll share my experiences when I booked a self-transfer ticket. But rest assured, I did read. I knew exactly what I was up or in for in terms of self-transfer. I was cutting cost. I was traveling around the globe, so it's important for me to take advantage of a situation. What does self-transfer mean? In between your flights for this journey, you may need to, number one, collect and recheck your bags. Guys, you following? If you self-transfer, remember, if you buy a ticket via Emirates, like we were doing with our next trip when we were booking to go to Israel, previous video, if you didn't watch it, go watch, then you'll understand what I mean. We booked through, whether you use Israel Airlines or Israel Airlines, even better, direct. It takes you from OR Tambo, Johannesburg, South Africa, straight to Israel. If you do Emirates, you always know stopping in Dubai, because that's their airline, Dubai. When you get to Dubai, all you worry about is where your gate is. Whether it's this terminal or next terminal, but you only worry about your gate. I'm talking normal ticket now, not self-transfer. With and then you get into the connecting flights after waiting, the layover time, then voila, you go to the next destination. With self-transfer, when you get to the connecting airports, you ought to collect your bags, guys. You're not gonna find your bags when you reach your destination. Example, when I was coming back from Turkey, guys, you just have to bear with me. You just have to bear with me. It is bad. It is bad. It wasn't a clever move, guys. It wasn't a clever move, believe me or not. Sorry. When I was traveling, my nose will be so red. When I was traveling from Turkey, I booked my flights to OR Tambo, Johannesburg, with my luggage. I had so much luggage because we were moving houses from Turkey. After I had checked in my luggage in Turkey, Istanbul, I said hello to my luggage in OR Tambo, Johannesburg. I went via Dubai. That was my connection or layover airport. That was Dubai. I didn't have to worry about luggage. My luggage said, hi, mommy, when I landed in Johannesburg, South Africa. With self-transfer, where you are connecting. So this would have meant when I got to Dubai, from Istanbul to Dubai, I would have had to go and fetch those big bags, 23 kg suitcases. That is self-transfer. Collect them, go self-transfer, and then go check in again. That is reality. Hence, it's cheaper because hey, salver man. So feel like that you spring cleaning your house with the self transfer, but you save couple of thousands. So you collect and check your bags. So you collect your bags, go self transfer and get a boarding pass from the counter of that airline that you're self transferring into, and then go again and check in. So you're basically checking in twice for one flight. You go through security and passport control. So, guys, you repeat the painful security story and passport control. You obtain a visa. Guys, I hope you are clear. You are listening to me. Don't think it's cheap and you go for it. Make sure you know your ish. You obtain a visa if you are not connecting in the country that requires one. Those are the main thing. Some providers may offer protection for cancellations or delays that impact your journey. This means that they may be able to protect you with any necessary assistance or compensation. Just be sure to check their policies carefully before booking. Read more about self-transfer. Guys, again, it's a long story that you will read during your own leisure. Oh, why did I even? Okay, they say at Skyscanner, they want to help you to have the best travel experience possible. So you can go. Here's the whole notes about self-transfer. And guys, please go do read them and make sure you understand. But basically, high level, I recall I booked a self-transfer, and I know it had Malaysia in it, and Malaysia is one of the big airports. So, guys, if you gonna self transfer, make sure your connecting flights is like 5, if not 6 hours after landing at that particular airport. Because as you've heard, there's a lot that you need to do. You'll be buyer Piesach. So it's not a matter of you land, then you go look for coffee or for something to eat, and then you look for your gate, and then you chill and wait for your connecting flight. No, self transfer. Make sure you have more than enough time, guys, because you must go and check out your bags, if that's the right way. Go collect your bags from the airline that took you to the connecting airports. You go collect your bags, and can I tell you, you ought to find the desk for your self transfer. So if you're flying through, let's say, Israel Airlines, you need to, at that airport, look for Israel Airlines desk or counter rather, and then, excuse me, that's where, because they won't give you a boarding pass. So in most cases, when you check in, you get 2 boarding pass. That's if you've got a connecting flight. So if you're connecting 3 times, you get 3 boarding passes. I've never done that. It's normally 2. So I got my boarding pass from Istanbul to connect to Dubai, and from Dubai to OR Tambo. So I had both. I was ready to come home when I left. It took here. With self-transfer, they'll give you one, because in most cases, it's different airlines when you self-transfer. So you ought to take that one boarding pass, and without a boarding pass, you can't go through security, you can't go through passport control. So when you land at that airport where you are self-transferring, basically it says you are self-transferring. You are not using services of the airline to transfer you to your next flight. You are doing it yourself. You go collect your bags, then you look for a counter, guys. Can I tell you my experience when I self-transferred? I collected my bags and I made sure I had sufficient time. I think I had like 8 hours or 6 hours in transit because I knew what it involved. Collected my bags when I landed. I think I self-transferred in Malaysia. Got to Malaysia, collected my luggage. Okay, I think I'm lying. I was backpacking at the time, so I only had a carry-on luggage, so I didn't have check-in guys, so I didn't have to collect anything. So in your case, you'll have to look for your bags. I had and it works better, guys, if you have only the hand luggage. You know, you're not checking in your bags. So I landed. I looked for the counter immediately. And can I tell you something? These self-transfer counters, it's like they pay the cheapest rent because they hide them in some corners. So do ask. Don't just walk around the airport, more especially if you don't have enough time, but make sure you've given yourself enough time. I found it in some corner after turning left, right, center, middle, and going east, west. And I found the counter, and the counter had no one. Now the struggle of saying, can someone help me? And they busy saying, no, you can do it yourself online. How online? Because I need a boarding pass. And I'm sure those who've done it online can say you can do it online. I needed someone to just give me my boarding pass. So I went to the counter, guys, after asking, who works here? And people were not bothered. Oh, guys, I'm dying. Sorry. My sinuses. Who works here? Who works here? Then someone came. How can I help you, ma'am? I said, I'm self-transferring. Can you help me with my boarding pass? Then they went in, not as ever, because I disturbed their free time. And they gave me the boarding pass at the other end of the airport. Then I had to walk back. So in your case, you'll be pushing your big suitcases, looking for the counter, getting a boarding pass. Then you go through immigration, you go through securities, immigration, or whichever one comes first, and then then you are able to actually look for your boarding gate. You need enough time. Then I won't lie to you. You need to figure out where the counter is and ask around if you can't find it. Because as I am telling you, sometimes these counters are hidden, and in most cases these airports are humongous. Please note, if you are in Terminal A and you need to be in Terminal B, it means whether you need to take a transportation from Terminal A to Terminal B to get that the counter to get your boarding pass. So there is time. Also, make sure you don't need a visa because it could be a country that requires you to have a visa, not just and find out if you need visa in transit or you need visa as though you are going out of the country. But in most cases, it could be visa in transit. So as much as self-transfer looks lucrative in terms of low fees and reasonable than other tickets that are straightforward, like your direct flights or the airline that will take you from point A to B, and you still use the same airline from point B to C. Self-transfer has its own headaches, but it is doable. I did it in Malaysia. I just gave myself enough time. I had less stress because I didn't have check-in luggage. The fact that I had, and guys, it takes time to wait for your luggage. So filter in enough time because you stand there. I even recorded a video for you while I was waiting for my bag, and I was no longer used to that life because I traveled for such a long time without having to wait for a bag and watch that bag belt rounding and rounding, and I was getting dizzy at some stage. So do take that into consideration. Ukuthi whether you'll be watching people's bags and until finally your bag says, Mommy, I'm here, or your bags, if you are a person who takes your whole house, including the kitchen, when you go on a holiday. So be prepared for all that. Uba utega iticket self-transfer. So if you click on self-transfer, you pay for self-transfer, read the terms and conditions, and don't skip them. Read each and every word. And make sure you include the insurance in case there's cancellations, there's delays for the tickets. But then again, you ask yourself, the minute you include the insurance, the price goes up. Then you need to gauge, Wusi, and make a decision. Does it still make sense to put yourself through the stress of self-transferring and still pay extra insurance? Or you might as well go for the normal, if I may call them that don't have restrictions, airlines or tickets rather, airplane or plane tickets, and that doesn't have your involvement, because self transfer, you are involved, you doing your own thing. So guys, that's it. This was one uh clumsy video, but as long as you get the information. Guys, at one stage I wanted to record it and then come back after my travel. And guys, I'm traveling to a certain mall. You know, traveling is not when you're gonna self-transfer. Just getting into your car and driving is part of traveling. So I'm traveling in few minutes, when in fact it's already 2 o'clock, to take my child somewhere where she needs to sort out her life. So luckily she doesn't have to self-transfer, because I'll be self-transferring her to a destination. But traveling, just to always encourage people, traveling doesn't always mean you pack big bags and you book tickets that says you're going over the seas. And over the seas is because you are flying over the seas. You can't drive. Hence, we say it's overseas. And people who are overseas call Africa overseas. So overseas is not just overseas. As in Europe and US. They also refer to us as Ucikizwa is overseas, because they also fly over the seas to come to Africa. Guys, I'm sorry, this is one clumsy video. But do try self-transfer. And if you've done the self-transfer and you're one of these family members, you know, guys, I'm starting to come across people who are traveling, people who share their experiences, and you have no idea how heartwarming it is. Of course, I'm here to inspire those who've never traveled before, to say, go for it. You'll still be in one piece. Here I am, after over 6 months traveling solo as a woman, black woman, still alive. Went to the likes of Mexico. If I had visa for Colombia, I would have gone to Colombia. I also tackle countries that are considered dangerous, because every country has its bad and good, and I'm still gonna talk about that. There's no such thing as, hey, South Africa, hey, hi guys. We now have traveled. And there's no such thing as a hey, poor, rich. They all have the poor side, they all have the rich side. Rich square mile, you know, and the poorest sides, that you'll get a shock. It's just that when they portray their countries, they only show us the nicer side. I don't know, Tina, why when we show our country, we show the unnecessary stuff. But do self-transfer. And like I was saying, I'm starting to see people who are travelers, which I just love. Guys, you know, when you talk the same language, you will understand. And I'm sure you understand. Those who work as nurses, when you come across nurses, whether they are abroad, whether they are in Africa, and you talk about patients and medicine and the challenges that you have at work and the love that you have for your work and the new science experiments that are taking place with those rabbits, which will be rolled out eventually to human beings, it just warms your heart. So I don't like to sit here and be the only one who talks about travel. Hence, I'm urging and asking you to, those who haven't, just travel. Let's talk about traveling. Traveling is awesome. So now I'm starting to see people who are saying, I went to this place and this happened. Guys, you have no idea. My heart just skips 10 beats. I get excited, and it keeps me going, and it really motivates me and inspires me to come with more videos. And I want to say, if you've self-transferred like I've done it, and I'm a living testimony, and the reason why I did it, I wanted to sit down one day and share my experience. Please do tell us, how was your experience? when you bought a ticket that includes self-transfer. Guys, again, if you buy a change of airport, this is completely different. Self-transfer in most cases, but do read, it is a same airport. You just need to go get your luggage, your baggage, your alles, go look for a counter, get your boarding pass, then go via security. It's a whole, you redoing what you did when you were departing at your starting point, basically. So you need enough time, you need to know your story, and make sure no visa required. Because if you bought that flight, which I doubt they will allow you at the starting point, like if I'm leaving from OR Tambo to go to Maldives, I don't think if there's an in transit in between where I need to self transfer. In most cases, they deny you a border from OR Tambo. Not to say they say, okay, you board, you'll worry when you get to Doha, or you'll worry when you go get to Dubai. They will deny you e-boarding. So if you didn't buy insurance for such instances, which in most cases you ought to change 24 hours, you might lose money down the drain. So don't buy self transfer if you don't know what it involves. If you are unsure whether you need a visa or not. If you are unsure, use our Sherpa website. I did a video where I said I was refused to board a plane to South Africa. And I explained my reasons, and that's where I shared this awesome website that is always up to date. I think it's live as we speak, and the traveling requirements are changing in a certain country. They update the Sherpa system. So there'll never be a time where you book a ticket to Morocco and you find Gucci now you need 10 visas and you only have one visa. Because if you go on that website, immediately it will tell you, as a South African citizen, you need to have 10 visas. So immediately you'll know, good say, let me not touch Morocco, or you start applying for your visas. That's if your travel time is in the future, is not in the now. But do go ahead and save some bucks. I won't stop you. I did it and I saved money. But go in knowing, Gucci, what are the expectations, what you ought to do when you buy a plane ticket that has that red, it's red for a reason, a sticker that says self transfer, because you're doing it yourself, you run around yourself, you ask around when you get to the airport yourself, you make sure yourself, Gucci, you've got the right documents to be at that airport. But if you've got everything in place and you get there on time, even if you have to take a train to the next terminal and or bus to the next terminal, but if you've just filtered in enough traveling time, you should be fine. You should self transfer seamlessly like I did. It was an experience that, yes, I'm thankful to God I did it. So when I say self transfer, I know exactly what they mean. What I've never done as yet, and I doubt if I'll do it soon, is change of airports. However, again, what I didn't like was the walk, long walk to freedom, and you look for these offices and they are hidden in some corner. But again, guys, it comes with traveling. Traveling, it's a lot of walking, it's a lot of finding things and looking for things and asking people, even if you don't want to talk, you are just in your zone, you leave your zone and you go out of your zone and interact with people, or else you look for a place that is right behind you the whole day and end up missing your flight. So I hope you've learned from the self transfer, and I've shared the terms and conditions, and you are clear now. When you book a ticket and you see self transfer, you don't sit and say, I wonder yini. No, click, read up if it works for you, because in most cases, guys, you save couple of thousands. In my case, I think I saved like 5,000 or so, which is a lot of money that you can use towards your activities, food, accommodation, but shopping, bringing your loved ones souvenirs, and yes, the list is endless. When we travel, it involves a lot of things. So yeah, that's that, guys. Uh, before I close off, what did I miss out on self transfer? No, I think I've covered everything. And guys, do check and do take insurance. Lapho, I'll say if you need to take insurance, I didn't. And important, have enough time and check if you need a visa. So okay, I don't know what you said, and then you retracted your message. Cikizwa, hi baby, aviwe molweni ekhaya bethuna siyangena siyalike. Yes sisi, we come in and we like. Please, I see Subaida. Hi Subaida. And Gideon and Zanda, how old are you? Gideon, I don't know which country you're from, but can I teach you the South African way? And I think you African, you should know better. You don't ask a woman her age. It is very distasteful. So never ask a woman her age, no matter what. It's just our thing. If we want to share our age, we will just do it out of the kindness and goodness of our hearts. But we don't expect people to, especially a stranger, to stop you and say, how old are you? What an odd question. So don't do that. It's a turn off for most women. You just compliment a woman. You just could have just come in and said, oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, wow. Thank you for the knowledge that you've just shared about self transfer. But never, ever, even woman to woman, we do not ask each other age. Age is so sensitive. We just, it's between us. Not to say we're not appreciative that we've lived until now. We are. We just don't want to share. So I don't share my age. I certainly not. But if you happen to see my video where I soon celebrate my 60th birthday, you can say, oh my word, you won't tell she's 60. But then you keep it moving. Don't come again and say, oh, your birthday was last week, you were 60. Hey, you don't continue with that. I like your channel. I subscribe to you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. You were very informative. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, sis, I just wanted quick to straight to the point and let me leave. I don't want this video to be long. Guys, don't forget to like. Don't forget, tomorrow we're meeting around this time, after lunch, and we're talking all things finance. It's our finance boot camp. Tomorrow will be our second session. I'm just trying to think ukuthi, which topic we're gonna start with, but I've given you the whole rundown on our go to that video finance bootcamp session number 1 on which topics we'll be covering. And if you have any questions regarding your finance, keep them. But remember, big disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor or financial planner that is certified and is licensed. And guys, take care of your monies. Don't listen to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who's on these streets, social media streets, telling you about Timali. It's your money. You can never just trust anybody with your child. Why then with your money you allow anybody to just tell you what? But I'll be sharing my personal knowledge. I'll be sharing my personal experiences, what I've learned. I'm coming with the books that I've read. There's lots of books that I've read. There's a book that I'm busy reading, How to Make Your First Million, for the second time. And I'll share how old I was when I made my first million. First million is very difficult. After that, you can make the next million in a much quicker time, and I'll tell you how you do it, who does it, and the discipline that is required when we talk all things finance. And yes, and I bought that book. I had already made my million. I was on my road. I can't remember. It's an old book. I've had it for years. I think I was still in my much younger, yeah, much younger when I bought the book. But I'm busy. I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is. I'm busy reading it again, but it's not one of the books that we'll be touching on. Warren Ingram, a South African. I like to read South African books. Of course, I read and guys, I read non-fiction books, if you know me. I know you need to, sorry guys, you need to tap into your creative space and read about a man opened the door while you were sleeping and you can imagine but I'm a non-friction soul. How to Make Your First Million. Amazing, amazing book. I've read it before. How to Get Rich as an Employee. We'll talk about all these things and get there. But thank you so much, guys. So don't allow people to tell you how to look after your money. Read books, make your own decisions, and go to certified financial advisors which are licensed and they've got a number. Don't mean I need to come invest with me and you bring your hard-earned money. Hey, I'm a triple M. Yeah, fly by night. Be careful. Okay, bye. See you later. Have a blessed day, ma'am. Okay, guys, bye and God bless. And thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching the ads. And thank you for subscribing for the newbies. I truly appreciate. Don't forget to hit the notification button because I shall be back tomorrow. All things finance, and let's get our house in order. Let's declutter those bad habits. Let's learn and unlearn and change ways that are holding us back from making our first millions. If you haven't made your first million, if you have, congratulations. Thank you, guys, and be careful when you do your self transfer. Read terms and conditions, know what you're in for, and it's doable. You can buy a self transfer. Check the visa requirements. More than anything, check your visa requirement. Thank you. You don't want to lose all that money. You just don't. Thank you, guys, and God bless.